I had a client come to me and she said, I'm being tested for insulin resistance and my doctor wants me to wear a continuous glucose monitor. And she says, well, this is just really interesting what I found out. Now, in the meantime, she is drinking a diet cherry limeade from Sonic. Okay, and she says, well, what I realized is that berries, red raspberries or whatever it was, it elevates my blood sugar. So I'm gonna cut it out of my diet because it's creating insulin resistance. And I'm thinking, that's not how it works. And why are you eliminating foods that cause an insulin increase in your body? If you are experiencing, if you experience insulin or blood sugar increases after certain foods, this is so beneficial for you to know. I mean, if you're in the gym or you're anywhere and you haven't eaten and you start to feel very tired, like you're crashing or you might pass out or any of those things, those are your sugars crashing. So is it good to know what foods may cause your insulin to go up? Yeah, because then you can just fix what's going on. But if you're keeping things in your diet, like cherry limeade or any kind of diet thing or artificial sweeteners or any of those kinds of things, even though it doesn't work in your body in the same way because it's sugar-free, it still creates an insulin response in your body because your body it's tasting the sweetness of what you're eating, and it thinks it's getting it's getting an insulin food, an insulin reaction from your body. But then when it's actually not a carbohydrate or a sweet, then your body doesn't know what to do with the insulin that it produced to react to the sweet thing that you ate, right? So if that all pulled in together, it is important to know what increases our blood sugar. Yes, you do not need to wear a continuous glucose monitor. You can just test this yourself, number one. And number two, even if you have worn it and you have found what does spike your blood sugar, it doesn't mean you have to cut it out of your diet. You just have to maybe put it somewhere else or put it where you can use it. And if you are having any insulin responses in your body, like when you drink diet sodas or anything like that, you're gonna need to cut those out and then reintroduce them and see what kind of response that your body has as far as that is too. So, your insulin response is a little bit different. I could drink a Diet Coke and be totally fine. I have a friend that if she drinks, she's diabetic, and if she drinks black coffee, it raises her insulin. Now, of course, she knows that because of her, she can watch her blood sugar rising. Most of us wouldn't know what that feels like with drinking coffee. But so this is just like these things that it's creating an insulin reaction in your body or a release, right? So you have an insulin release when you're eating the food, and the insulin wants to help digest and manage that and put it where it needs to go. When you have an insulin response, it's like your body's releasing that insulin, but it doesn't have anywhere to go because it didn't get the food that it thought it was going to get. And that response is going to be different for every single person. Now, one of the things that was keeping me insulin resistant when I was trying to figure out what in the heck was going on with my weight was alcohol. So I took the alcohol out of my diet, and now I put it back in, and I can feel a difference of when I drink it and when I don't. But if you're having any kind of challenges with your insulin or your insulin resistance, then alcohol is usually a big contributor. Another big contributor can be a lot of Diet Cokes. It can be a lot of artificial sweeteners because your body is still thinking that it's getting some sweets and it's not. So the best thing to do if you are worried about your insulin or your insulin resistance or insulin response is to start food logging. And when you notice usually if you notice a big dive in your energy crashing, that means that it was once high, right? Because what's up must come down. And if it was high and you're feeling like you're having that crash, you're gonna look at that meal before and you're gonna see what's in that meal. And that's gonna tell you, was it the actual food or that breakdown of what I ate? Was it, an apple, or was it potatoes, or was it a Diet Coke, or what did I have in that previous meal that is now affecting my sugar levels in the afternoon, okay? Or what is creating this insulin response or insulin resistance or any of these kinds of things? And it lives in your food logs. So once you start to look at food logs and experience what insulin crashes and highs and lows feel like, it's easier to balance them out. And you do not need to wear a continuous glucose monitor. It's all controlled. Most of everything is controlled by your food, how you eat it, when you eat it, and then what the breakdowns are. So no need to be running off to your doctors for a glucose monitor. You can track your food and see how your own body responds to insulin.